The $500 investment experiment, where I have created 5 individual portfolios and invested $500 into each one into the market. And every week I track their progress and see how they're going. This week, funds that were diversified into international stocks and large cap had a very good week. The loser, or the one that made the least, was Steady Eddie, and Steady Eddie backed up $1.87 for the week. But the other 4 funds all saw progress and growth this week, with benefits from being international stocks coming to the Grow My Money and the Retirement Guy, and then large cap ended up being a positive for the American. And the big winner in all of this was the benchmark, which is invested 100% into VOO, the S&P 500 for Vanguard, and they had growth of $4.43 for the week. So over here we sit there and see that the blue here is the benchmark, and they had the most growth this week, but yet we still have Steady Eddie leading the pack here. And then we have the Retirement Guy and the American, and then here is the Grow My Money. Week, the benchmark gained $4.43 for the week, which is up 0.9%, and that has proved well for it. It still is behind from its initial investment of $499.97, which leaves it $4.87 below breaking even. But with the progress of $4.43, I'm sure that the benchmark with the S&P 500 ticker symbol VOO will continue to grow, and we will see it move forward. Money had a good week, and it grew $3.04 from the previous week, and that starts off by showing where diversification in the international stocks has proved a benefit for that fund. It grew $1.17 with the Developed Markets Index Fund, ticker symbol VEA, and then large caps contributed $2.73 this week with the ticker symbol VV, and the bonds for the Vanguard Total Bond Market Index provided 7 cents extra. And yet the lost part of Vanguard Small Cap Value, the previous week small cap had a surge and did well, but in this week small cap value lost 0.93 cents for the week. And yet overall the diversification helped to provide some benefit with developed markets and large cap, with the $3.04 growth this week. Grow My Money is still below its initial investment and has still loss of 42 cents from its initial investment, but with the growth that continues to happen in the last couple weeks, I am looking forward to watching it grow. The American 80/20 portfolio had a gain of $3.28 this week, led by the Vanguard Mega Cap Index, ticker symbol VGC, and that was $2.99 gain this week, followed by a Vanguard Mid Cap Index, a ticker symbol VO, gained 35 cents, and then the Vanguard Total Bond Market Index grew by 7 cents this week for the American, and then Small Cap Index Fund sat there and grew by 2 cents. So while in the Grow My Money portfolio, the small cap value lost some money this week, the small cap index fund, the blend, sat there and gained for the American. The American did sit there and lose money with the Vanguard short-term inflation protected bonds, lost 16 cents there. But overall, the American had a gain of $3.28. It still leaves it behind from the initial investment, $2.20, but I believe it's been 3 weeks of growth so far for the American, and I'm sure that it'll continue to grow and work itself out to where it is a positive gain in the weeks ahead. Guy had a very good week here. Even with a 70-30 portfolio and 30% in bonds, the retirement guy gained $4.05 from the previous week, and this helped through diversification through international stocks and its portfolio being diversified through international and U.S. stocks. Through the International Stock Index, ticker symbol VXUS, the retirement guy gained $1.77, which was 1.27% this week over the previous week. And through the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index US, ticker symbol VTI, the retirement guy gained $2.05, which was 0.99% growth from the previous week. And in bonds, the Vanguard Total International Bond Index, ticker symbol BNDX, gained 8 cents for the week, and the Vanguard Total Bond Index Fund for the U.S., ticker symbol BND, gained 14 cents for the week. Overall, the retirement guy had a good week and actually is above the $500 mark that was initially invested. And even though it's only 27 cents this week, though, the retirement guy has broke even and made a little bit from the $500 investment that was originally made. Had a loss this week of 27 cents for the week, and it was due in part to the Vanguard US multi-factor ETF, which lost $1.96 this week. That is an actively traded fund, and out of the 4 funds that 2 are actively managed, 2 are passively managed funds here. This week, the passively managed funds performed better than the actively managed funds. With the 2 passively managed funds, Vanguard Total Stock Market Index, ticker symbol VTI, had a gain of $1.46, and the passively managed bond fund, Vanguard Total Bond Market, ticker symbol BND, gained 14 cents this week. So together, the 2 passively managed funds gained $1.59 for the week, where even with the gain of actively managed Vanguard Core Bond Fund, ticker symbol VCRB, gained 9 cents, but with the loss of the Vanguard US multi-factor of $1.96, overall, the actively managed funds lost $1.87 this week. Still, Steady Eddie is leading the 5 portfolios with a total of $501.57, leaving it with a total gain from initial investment of $1.59. Even with Steady Eddie losing 27 cents this week, is still leading the pack here out of the 5 portfolios. And then coming in second place this week or whatever, we have the retirement guy at 70-30 with $500.25. And then following Steady Eddie is the Grow My Money at 90-10, and they have $499.54. And then following that is the American at $497.75. The benchmark that did have a good week with progress of $4.43 has $495.10 in its portfolio. But with the kind of growth it saw this week, everybody knows it has plenty of potential going in the future. So what we see here, though, is good growth over the last 3 weeks. Each fund has grown except for Steady Eddie this week, but still it is looking forward to seeing how these portfolios grow. So thank you for watching the $500 investment experiment, and please hit the like and subscribe button and follow these portfolios as we go forward to see how they grow and mature over time.